you guys have followed me in my journey for a while now, you guys know that I quit my job about a year ago to become a full-time content creator, and it was definitely one of the scariest choices that I've ever made. I had a really good job coming out of college, especially for someone who graduated college during the pandemic. I had great pay, it was a job in tech, and honestly, as my platform on YouTube started to grow, I wasn't 100% certain that this would be something that I could really even do full-time. But I knew in my heart that this is something that I was meant to be doing, and so I went ahead and just took the leap, and I'm so glad that I did. So in this video, I really want to share with you guys everything that I've learned in the past year becoming a full-time content creator, all the things that I wish I knew before I became a full-time content creator. And honestly, I just really want to be as transparent as possible because I know a lot of you guys are really interested in doing this as a job, and it's definitely one that we just don't talk about enough. So I'm going to share with you guys literally everything, like the good, the bad, the ugly. Being a content creator, when you think about it, is a really crazy thing because you're literally getting paid to be yourself. And typically in the society, we think about work and we think about our job, and then we think about ourselves as separate from that. We think about our job as something that just like pays our bills. But when you become a content creator, your job is to literally show up as yourself and attract a community of people who resonate with that version of yourself. So I think for me, one of the biggest changes that I've really had in the past year is learning to reframe my definition of work. When you think about a job, you clock in for maybe 8 hours a day and then you clock out. You know when you're not working, there's that separation there. But when your job is to literally document yourself and be yourself online, every single part or version of yourself and every single thing that you're experiencing becomes something that you can monetize and make into content. So it can be kind of difficult, especially if you're not someone who is really good in terms of like boundaries with work. It can be very difficult to separate that out when I'm hanging out with friends, when I'm by myself, when I'm resting. Anything that I'm doing, like literally any time of the day, can be content. And so it's really hard, especially again as a lifestyle creator, it's really hard to learn when to turn that off. And so I think a lot of people assume that if you become a content creator, then you're working a lot less, which can definitely be the case. But for a lot of people, and for me especially, when I first transitioned into doing this full time, it actually ends up becoming a lot more work. At the end of the day, it's definitely not for everyone. For me, there's still been so many more pros to this being my job. Again, being able to have my job be about me, I get to prioritize my personal growth, my inner growth, my health, because I get paid to show me prioritizing those things. And so it's like I have a lot more time than most people who work 9 to 5 to really put into myself, into my self-care. And so at the end of the day, like I'm okay with the sacrifice of me sometimes feeling like I can't be present, or maybe I'm like struggling with the boundaries or whatever. I'm okay with those like downsides for the fact that I literally get to, again, just get paid to be myself. Like it's just something that I really would not trade for the world. And for me, more than anything, like I'm just really truly passionate about what I do. And so it excites me more than anything to be able to like hit record or get content or even get cute and take Instagram pictures. Like all that stuff really does make me excited. One thing that I really have had to learn though is that like just because your job is social media does not mean that you need to be consuming social media. I honestly feel, I don't remember who said this, but there's someone that I follow basically saying like the key to being a content creator, or one of the keys, is to create more than you consume. And I definitely agree with that, because when you're when you're posting on social media throughout the day, it's so easy to get sucked in. And I definitely think it's a good thing to be on social media and engage and consume social media if you're also creating it. But I think that you definitely, like one thing that I've really had to work on is learning to put my phone down. Like if I have to post something, post it and then put my phone down. Getting paid as a social media influencer or a content creator, an entrepreneur just in general, your income is not secure at all. Like it's very inconsistent. You don't know exactly what you're gonna be getting on a month-to-month basis. And luckily for me, I've gotten paid really well. I've never really had a really rough month. So for me, honestly, I get paid anywhere from like 10K a month to sometimes 20 to like 25K a month, depending on what the month looks like. I've had like 30K months sometimes. I think my lowest month has been like an 8K month in the past year. And so the pay can be very lucrative, but that also depends on you and what your platforms are like, what your engagement is like, what your management looks like if you have management. And I think for me, I'm more of like a type A kind of person. I really like to know exactly what's going on in every area of my life. And so I've really had to learn to like really, more than anything, just trust the universe and trust that I'm going to be taken care of. And I think when I quit my job that month, I had made around like 10K from content. So I was like, oh, okay, like I can do this. Like I could definitely do this full time. But I didn't know I don't even think I had that many sponsorships secured for July. So I didn't even know fully like what my payout was gonna look like the next month. And so I remember by like August, I went on vacation to Greece. Y'all probably remember. And I was like kind of stressing about money because I was like, damn, like I'm spending money, like I got it like that, but I don't know if I do. Like I don't have that many sponsorships. I literally got back from Greece the end of August. And that's when I got an offer from a brand for a long-term sponsorship. And that sponsorship was more, they were gonna pay me more monthly than my old job was paying me for a salary. So when you think about that, if you're getting paid from one brand more than you're getting paid from your 9 to 5, then you're pretty much set. That's really when my baseline income became a lot higher. I knew, okay, this much money is gonna be coming into me every single month for these next few months. So yeah, the pay thing is something that's very stressful. And I honestly, my biggest piece of advice is to make sure that you, one, are quitting your job when you really truly know that you are ready, like financially, when you have a savings, at least like 3 to 6 months of emergency fund, but also that you know that like at least for the next few months, you're gonna be making enough, whether that be from sponsorships or whatever, to cover your expenses. You wanna be making comparable, I would say personally, you wanna be making more money than you are from your 9 to 5 before you quit. But then I also really suggest that you think about like other income streams that you can like spin up so that you're not just relying on brand deals to make you money. Because when you're just relying on brand deals to make you money, it's just stressful. You feel pressure to be consistent all the time, which sometimes you're not always gonna feel like doing. You feel pressure to say yes to more brands sometimes, depending on like what your month is looking like. So just make sure that you're really thinking about like, okay, if I'm gonna be doing this full time and I'm really just gonna be relying on brands to pay me, or maybe AdSense, which is not a really reliable source of income at all, what is that gonna look like for me? And for me, I will say honestly, AdSense back like this time last year was making me a lot more money than it is now. I think in June of last year, because I had so many videos that were kind of popping off, I think I was making like 6K, even some 7K some months from AdSense. And so for me, that was a really big lump sum of money on top of all my sponsorships that was really showing me like, I'm probably gonna be fine. But AdSense income definitely can change over time. Your AdSense revenue comes from how many views you're getting usually. So if you have a bunch of videos that pop off and that's how your channel grows, you're gonna get paid a lot of money from ads. But eventually, as your channel kind of starts to like even out and your engagement gets, your engagement is gonna get really high, and then it's gonna start to drop because that's just what happens. And as that happens, your AdSense revenue is not gonna be as high as it was when your channel kind of blew up. Just think about that when you think about like your analytics and your engagement. Like at the end of the day, it's really, really exciting when your channel or maybe your TikTok or whatever blows up. But for me, for every single platform that I've been on, I've had a plateau, and I've had a pretty long plateau on every single platform. And for me at first, that was like really, really stressful because I was like, fuck, like I need to constantly be growing. Like I need to figure this out. But at the end of the day, like usually brands can still see your worth once you hit a certain point. So for me, having a presence on TikTok, but then also having a presence on YouTube and a little bit of a presence on Instagram has really helped me pull in different brand deals across different platforms and get paid pretty well. So a lot of my big brand deals haven't just been on YouTube, they've been on Instagram and on TikTok as well. So think about yourself, think about what platforms you feel the most comfortable on, but then also just be thinking about like how you wanna optimize your time and how much time you're dedicating to each platform. Obviously, TikTok's a little bit easier to grow on than Instagram. If you're putting all your time in Instagram, you're probably gonna be wasting your time. So just thinking about those things, especially when you're thinking about the monetization factor, is really, really important. There's a lot to unpack when you think about monetization, and I could talk about this probably for hours, but I'm not going to. And then you really wanna figure out consistency, right? Consistency, like I've said before, is key, and like really sticking to a consistent schedule. But more than anything, on top of all of those things, you wanna make sure that you're in alignment with your mission and with what you feel like your purpose is. Because a lot of times we see other people doing stuff and we're like, okay, Lynette's doing this, so maybe I should do this too. No, your mission, your purpose may put you in a totally different direction than where I'm going. I was doing fashion. I've been really all over the place in terms of my content pillars, what my personal brand looks like. I'm still figuring my shit out, to be honest, but it's worked out for me because I've really more than anything prioritized my mission in all of my content. You guys know my whole thing is just sharing what I'm learning as I go. I'm on my personal journey to healing myself, but I also really want to figure out how I can contribute to a world in which everyone can do that for themselves as well, how everyone can have access to these things, right? Y'all know this is my mission. I talk about it all the time. And so for me, because that's been the driving force behind all my content, I think that's the reason why, like, no matter what niche or topic or whatever that I dabble into, I still am coming back to myself. Like my mission is still the center in everything that I'm doing, and people will resonate with it and people want to follow me for that reason. So again, despite what like content pillars or whatever you choose to focus on, what platforms you choose to focus on, or how consistent you're being, your number one thing that you need to be thinking about in the back of your head always is your mission. Honestly, the advice that I wish I would have maybe listened to a little bit more when I was still working my 9 to 5 is that, like, if you're working 9 to 5 right now and you want to be a full-time content creator, take advantage of the fact that you're in a 9 to 5 right now. You have an advantage right now, and that content for you is your passion. It's not your full-time job yet. And because of that, you get to move from a place of love versus moving from a place of, oh fuck, I have to do this today so I can pay my bills. If you're working 9 to 5, I know there's a lot going on. You're probably tired. You're probably trying to balance your personal, like your social life, your health, your rest, your sanity, and then you're also wanting to post online, but then you also have to pay your bills. I get it. It's really, really tiring, and it's probably a lot, especially if your job is draining you. But I really, really encourage you in whatever way you can, take advantage of the fact that you have stable income right now. Figure out your time management, make it work for you. And y'all know, like, I'm a really big preacher on, like, you know, you can build your dream life without having to work too hard, whatever. But like, in all honesty, you're gonna have to work a little bit hard right now if you're in a position where your time is limited. And if y'all go back and watch my old videos, y'all will see, like, I have not always had the healthiest relationship with productivity. For me, when I was working 9 to 5, I was working 24/7. Like, I pretty much had no social life. We were also in the pandemic, so that kind of helped things. But for me, like, I would be, you know, Saturday nights was like me editing all night. Sunday nights, me editing all night. Like, every single night for the most part, like, besides spending time with my boyfriend and my friends every now and then, I was pretty much always working either on content or on my 9 to 5. Or then, like, I was going to the gym, taking care of myself in whatever other way I can, maybe resting when I could. But like, I was so laser focused on growing my platform. And more than anything for me, it was because I was really, really passionate about it. That's what it really came down to more than anything, was that I was like excited every single time I posted. I was excited to talk to my community. I probably had like 2,000 subscribers at one point, and I was so excited to talk to whoever would comment on my videos. I would be commenting back. I would just be so excited about it, like, every single time I did it. So for me, again, I would really say, first, really ask yourself, is this for you? Do you find passion in doing this? And yes, you might be tired. Yes, you might have a lot going on. But if you really, really are passionate about it, you will make it happen. I wish that there was a better solution than you having to sacrifice your friends, your time with your friends, and your rest and X, Y, and Z for you to be able to do this full time. But that's definitely, honestly, what my journey was like. But luckily, I'm now here in a place where it's like, again, I'm getting paid to be myself every single day, and I get to take my time in the gym in the mornings, and I get to have a 4 or 5 hour morning routine sometimes, and move more slowly, and really enjoy my time and vlog my day and share my experiences. So put in the work that you need to now. Figure out a schedule that works for you. Have discipline with your time. Learn to say no to some things that are maybe not serving you. Again, you want to approach this, you want to do this from a place of love and knowingness and alignment to your mission, and not from a place of desperation. So just make sure that you are giving yourself time, make sure you're being patient, and really, more than anything, just enjoy the journey. We as a society are so obsessed with these end results and the life that we feel like we want, or the life that we feel like we deserve. And trust me, I get it. When you're working a job that you hate and it drains you, you just want nothing more to be able to get paid to just be yourself. But for me, honestly, when I look back at my entire journey to getting here, first of all, it was kind of a long journey. I was doing content for years before I even really knew that I was going to be trying to do this as a job full time. For me, again, it was about the passion. It was about me really just enjoying creating creating videos, expressing myself, learning how to get better at every little aspect and detail of becoming a YouTuber, like the editing, how to make a good thumbnail. Like there's so many things that go into it that you get to learn, you get to explore, and you really more than anything just get to learn about yourself. And that whole journey for me has been so much fun. Be as present in this journey as possible. Don't focus on the end result. Don't focus on the numbers or the monetization too soon. If you're doing this for just a few months or even just a few years and you end up quitting because you're not where you want to be, then this is not meant for you. This is a very it's a long game, honestly. And I know that some people have very quick come up stories, and especially on TikTok now, I see some people like blow up overnight, and I think it's so cool, but it's just not how it works for everyone. And honestly, when you're on this journey, it can feel very lonely. It can feel very hard. It can feel like you're doing all this for nothing sometimes. Trust me, I know. But what it takes more than anything is not you being perfect at making your videos or your thumbnails or your titles or whatever. What it takes more than anything to be successful at this is posting again and again, no matter how many views your last video just got or how many likes your last picture or post just got. You just have to keep going. You have to keep focusing on the journey, because I promise you, overnight, your life can literally change. There's gonna be a future version of you who's gonna be looking back at current you and is gonna be so fucking proud of you. Like I remember when I bought myself a 5,000 subscriber cake, like really go hard for yourself. Be your biggest advocate. No one is fully gonna understand what you're doing or why you're doing it or why you're going so hard at it until you blow up, and then they're gonna be like, oh, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Then everyone's gonna be asking you for advice. So just go hard. Again, focus on and be present in the journey. And I promise you, you are more than capable of doing this too. So hopefully this video was helpful for you guys. I really enjoyed making this. If you guys have any more questions or anything else you guys want me to cover when it comes to content creation or my advice or X, Y, and Z, then definitely leave them in the comments down below, because I can definitely make some more videos. And yeah, I love you guys so much. I hope you guys are doing well, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. I want to thank Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. As you guys know, they are the one-stop shop for you to build an online presence, and they've been such a fundamental part of my journey in building my own online presence. They have everything that you might need, from amazing website templates to marketing tools and analytics, and even third-party extensions to help you get your website up and running. I will leave a link to them down below if you guys want to go check them out. Thank you again to Squarespace for being an amazing sponsor to this channel, and thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.